I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a memory planning process video for you. I'm going to be doing some memory planning for the very end of August, beginning of September. I have a few photos, not a ton this week, and I'm going to use some leftover pieces from a recent Hip Kit Club kit. So I will link everything that I end up using down below. Otherwise, I'm going to put you all on fast forward. Let's go. One of my favorite things to do is to cut ephemera out of patterned paper. You're going to find all kinds of patterned paper that really lends itself to this. I find that florals are great, butterflies, and then these picture frames spoke to me immediately. As soon as I saw this paper in the spring, I was like, I will be cutting out many of these picture frames. And I'm going to use these as the places where I will add journaling. In this particular memory planning spread, I'm going to break away from my norm. I normally like to fill the spread completely, no white space. I am team no white space, but I wanted to try something a little bit different to stretch myself a little bit. And so instead of being team no white space, we are going to embrace some big chunks of white space in this memory planning spread. It's just a different way to do your memory planning. It's whatever is speaking to you. You know, there's no right or wrong way to do your memory planning, but I like to change it up every now and then, just give it a different look. Will this be how I plan for a long time in the future? No, I'm probably still team no white space. I like to use all of the supplies. I like to print out a ton of pictures. I like to fill up a lot of journaling. So I will probably go back to filling the whole thing, but I think for this, it was nice to change it up. I decided to embrace this kind of orange color. We're going to go with oranges and yellows as the big basis. I will mix in a few other ephemera pieces, and I'm matting all my pictures on these two patterned papers, just mixing it up. And then my goal is to kind of create a diagonal look. So I want the pictures to cascade from the upper right down to the lower left, and we're just going to have them overlapping, and we're going to leave big chunks of space, like I said before. Mostly they will be near the days that they actually happened. It'll change up ever so slightly. Some of them have to be adjusted, but no big deal. I will definitely, I think it's appropriate that they're on the correct week. If it's not on the exact day, then that usually doesn't really bother me. Once I'm happy with where the photos are placed and how they're kind of layered on top of each other, I'm going to start taking these frames. And like I said, this is going to be where I add a ton of the journaling. So not only are these going to add a nice decorative element, but they'll be a great place for writing. And I think that's a wonderful way to set off your writing, especially when you have a lot going on. I will have to write really small for these, and I will have to kind of abbreviate what I would normally write, but I'm going to use a ton of them, and we're going to layer them in front of the pictures, behind the pictures, kind of do some different things to create this cascading effect. Like I said, I was going for a diagonal. I don't want it to be like super rigid diagonal, just a general kind of flow to the page. And I like how it's coming across. Like I like how it's coming together. I think it's fun to layer all these pieces. The challenging part of layering all these pieces is then coming back and getting them in the right spot. A couple of tips for keeping all of your clusters together as you're doing the adhering. You could take a picture. So in this case, I'm actually recording on my phone, so I can't take a picture with my phone, but take a picture. When you have it how you like it, take a picture so that you can refer back to it as you are putting the pieces together. I very carefully move one thing at a time. I try to look at the page and see what is the farthest back piece so that I can add adhesive to that first. And I just move really slowly, really carefully. This is sped up to 8 times the normal pace. So I do work really methodically to try to keep it in the same space, the same general area of what I had it in before. There are other times where I put my clusters together off of the page. So I take the elements off the page, adhere them all together, and then adhere that large cluster onto the page. So it kind of depends on the size and what it is I'm working with. Let me know what some of your tips are for keeping things laid out and adhered down the way that you intended. I know it's easy to like knock your page and things move around, or you clear off everything to start working in the background, and then things get all jumbled and you forget how you planned it. So I try to just be slow and methodical, taking a picture and then working off of the page with the clusters and then putting them on. That's some of the hints that have helped me. Okay, so now that all of the main elements are on the page, now I can just play with the fun things. So I'm trying to aim for mostly the black and white and then this orangey color, the ephemera pieces that have the orange in it. A few other colors sneak in. I can't help it. I'm a color loving person. I love all the colors, so it was hard for me to restrict myself too much. But it's fun to just play with the ephemera pieces. Not all of them like fit as far as thematic wise, like theme wise, but I think they still help tell the story of the week. They fill in some of the spaces on this diagonal that I have going on and bring it all together with some extra images that kind of coordinate with each other, like the teacups and the teapot and then the "You're My Cup of Tea." That is absolutely perfect. It was a fun week. We have activities out the wazoo. We had a soccer tournament, an out-of-town soccer tournament that week, and the craft studio started coming together over that weekend when we got back from the soccer tournament, and it is super exciting. I'm so thankful for my husband who has been helping me so much here in the basement get everything set for my craft studio. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for you all to see it. I am adding in these gorgeous butterflies. They're actually fabric butterflies that came with this kit, and having them cascading through the whole set where you can see all of them peeking out in different areas, I think that really helps bring it all together. Now, team no white space. There's some white space. There's some, I know some of you guys are like, that's barely any white space. There is some white space, way more than I would normally do. So it was an experiment for me for sure. But yes, I did end up filling in a ton of it, but it works. There's still plenty in there. So let's get the ephemera down, and then I will take a little bit of time to fill in the journaling. This time I will be doing my journaling on camera. I just speeded up a really good amount. And then this layout is coming together. This was pretty easy to put together, but definitely stretched me creatively. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. As always, I will link the supplies that I use down below so you can be sure to check those out if you are interested. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for your support. It means the world. It really helps me be able to continue putting out content here on YouTube. And of course, there's a ton of extra content over on Patreon that you can check out if you're looking for more. All right, I hope that you all have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.